Hello and welcome back to the Troglodyte channel. Today I'm going to be playing through Minecraft as this Discord mod to see if I can beat it. There are a few things that are going to make that difficult. For one, we know touching grass is a Discord mod's natural enemy, so touching grass is going to mean pain and eventually death in this playthrough. Due to his round gamer body, fall damage will be greatly increased, to where even jumping at normal height does damage. And a fall of just 6 blocks kills him in one hit. Another thing we know about Discord mods is they're very sedentary, so if you force him to run for too long, he will have a heart attack. This logic also applies to other physically taxing activities such as mining and even swimming. Additionally, his very large body makes it impossible to go through normal gaps such as doors. This makes it very difficult to navigate certain areas of the game. Skinny Chud, how dare you make your house not Discord mod accessible? With that, let's get into it. Spawning into the game for the first time, I see that I'm in a jungle biome next to a meadow biome, possibly one of the worst spawns I could have gotten with that evil green stuff in every direction. I was basically going to have to build a really long bridge into the nearest desert or badlands biome to settle down in. But man oh man, can we take just a second to admire the ugly masterpiece I've created. He truly does encapsulate the concept of Discord mods well. And the dookie stain from last video has been upgraded to plumber's crack and dookie stain. You're welcome for this masterpiece. Anyway, first spawn was looking pretty bleak and I tried to walk out into the grass and that didn't work out well for me. Second spawn, I was able to get much further in by gathering a bunch of dirt and making a sort of pathway. The problem with this was the grass would spread to the dirt I had placed and I couldn't reuse the bridge. I would learn from this lesson next time though. So I was basically sacrificing my life here to get some elevation and maybe look around a little bit, but I wasn't able to find any better biomes. My first 2 lives gained me nothing, but I was not deterred. I was determined to make it out of this jungle. Take 3, I was able to find some melons this time and make it significantly further, although the melons didn't last very long because of my massive gamer appetite. I went to the nearest hill to make another attempt at getting some elevation to see if there were any better biomes in sight. Looking around, there were absolutely no better biomes in sight. I didn't want to have to do this, but now I'm going to have to go through the bamboo jungle. I was pretty much screwed at this point, so I decided to commit some seppuku. But that's when things went from bad to worse. When I respawned, I was at the top of a tree, and it was nighttime, so I pretty much was stuck up here until day. Man oh man, this has been a rough start so far. The only good thing about this is that when I did finally go down, I would be able to mine the jungle tree downwards, so I would have a lot of wood to build a bridge with. Hey you, subscribe to Troglodyte. Do it. Do it. I'm a Discord mod in a tree. Subscribe to Troglodyte. So since I'm up here waiting for this long, why don't we take a look at this fully modeled plumber's crack and dookie stain combo. And the dookie even wraps around to the bottom of the mod. You can't tell me I'm not improving as a creator when you see things like this. Day finally came, and I was up with a new resolve to get out of the jungle. Now with copious amounts of jungle planks, I was able to build a pathway that would lead through the jungle, hopefully to somewhere better, and I could reuse it if I died for some reason. The bamboo section was particularly difficult to navigate for a person of size such as this Discord mod. Before long, I made it to a desert biome and I was free from the nasty scourge of touching grass for a while. And then night fell and I ran out of food, so I had to build a little makeshift shelter for myself. And I was again condemned to the fate of watching the stars go by, hoping that day would bring safety. And as soon as I poke my head up, a skeleton is waiting there to hit me in the face. So I hunkered down for a little bit more to wait for him to burn up in the sun. He was sitting in the water. What a gamer. On my 4th life, I gathered more food, made it back to the desert, and... oh, heart attack. On my 5th life, I got the food back, made it to the desert. It was night once again, but I made it to the village this time. And this gave me a chance to do one of the classic maneuvers, exploiting others for my own personal gain, starting by stealing this child's bed while he was sleeping. His parents made a huge mistake in letting a Discord mod anywhere near him. Poor child. Anyway, I was finally able to sleep, and I started looking for a base. And there was a desert pyramid really close to this village, so I decided to use it as a base. There was a squatter that I couldn't really deal with because I didn't have the gear for it. My next goal after settling into my new base was to find some iron. And I tell you, I had to have gotten the worst iron luck that I have ever personally witnessed in any Minecraft playthrough, and I probably have 5,000 hours in this game, just to put that in perspective. I mined 15 stacks of cobblestone before I found even one piece of iron. And to make matters worse, I had several heart attacks while looking. This run was turning into a brutal grind very quickly. I was eventually able to find some iron though. And just to display my frustrations, here is my chest that had 15 stacks of cobble in it. Meanwhile, I'm still using stone tools. It was ridiculous. After getting iron, I decided to venture into the village, and I noticed a new type of villager there. A Discord admin. Oh, it's so nice to meet you, sir. After meeting with the Discord admin, I knew I had to grind out some emeralds to get my hands on that sweet, sweet Discord machine. So I headed over to the nearby jungle biome where I would grind out some wood, which would then allow me to make a ton of sticks to trade with a Fletcher villager. Having a Fletcher villager around is an easy way to get emeralds, especially if they start off with the stick trade, and it's just useful to have in general and would come in handy later. After getting 16 emeralds, I made my way back to the Discord admin and got myself a Discord machine. I couldn't wait to get back to my base and try it out. Oh my god, the blurple grass, the kittens everywhere. I got here through the Discord machine. This must be the inside of Discord. And I can't escape touching grass even in here, good grief. Hey girl, oh, you scared me. No one saw that, she was a chud. Hey girl, you know I moderate over 30 Discord servers. Hey, look at me when I'm talking to you. Don't you know how to respect a man when you see one? I'm a Discord mod. You all ought to respect me more. Look at me. Look at me. Ooh, almost lost my cool there. It's not that I'm an incel. I just can't stand it when these girls won't look at me. It was clear to me now that if I was going to win over these cat girls, I was going to need more help from the Discord admin. So I went back, grinded out more sticks to get more emeralds, and then went back to the Discord admin to level him up. Oh, wise Discord admin of the village, what must I do to win over the cat girls? Discord Nitro! Of course! It's so obvious! The cat girls won't be able to resist me with Discord Nitro on my side. I grinded out a few more emeralds, got myself 50 Discord Nitro subscriptions, and went back into Discord to get myself some cat girls. Okay, kitties, Daddy's got Discord Nitro, now come over here and get some. We're witnessing a Discord mod's dream right now. In Discord, surrounded by a bunch of questionably young cat girls, commanding their attention by dangling something with monetary value in front of them. Marvelous. No, don't do that! Kitties, get back! Grass hurts, Daddy! So before long, I took my new slaves back to the overworld to see how useful they would be to me. And yeah, they don't really seem to have that much HP, unfortunately. A small fall can kill them. Ah, here we go. Perfect. Kitties, attack! Your moderator decrees it. Well done, kitties. Daddy is unharmed. To be honest, they were kind of annoying, so I came up with a very humane way to store them until I needed them, which is in a cage in the desert in direct sunlight. I am a generous god. The plan is to bring them and a shitload of more kittens to the Ender Dragon fight. I think that'll be fun. Next, it was time to make my way into the Nether. And earlier I said that it took me 15 stacks of cobble before I found 6 iron. And the one good thing that came of that was I found that lava pool. Spawning in for the first time, and all I see around me is this crimson tree biome, and this has got to be the worst possible spawn that I could have gotten. It's hard to navigate for a thick boy, tons of hostile mobs spawn here, and there's really nothing of value in it. The most risk-free strategy I had of navigating the Nether was digging a really long tunnel in one direction and hoping I found something good on the other side. There were problems with even that though. There was so much crimson forest and in so many directions that I pretty much had no choice but to navigate some of it. And you can see they get me killed here. I hate these hoglin buttholes or whatever they're called. I was frustrated with my terrible nether spawn, so I took it out on this pig child. Let this serve as yet another example of why a Discord mod should never be around children. Looking around even further, this is possibly the worst nether spawn I have ever seen, and it was especially bad for this run because of the amount of crimson tree biome that this Discord mod had to wander through. You can see I had to resort to extremely risky strats like bridging across big gaps like this, which would often get me killed. Man, I bet this tunnel stinks. This man has already crapped his pants. It's literally as hot as hell, so you know he's sweating. There's a disturbing thought for you. Anyway, I finally escaped the Crimson Forest, and I look over the edge, and what do I see? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I'm no closer to finding a fortress than I was. I did manage to find this teal forest biome in all my wandering around, and this will come in handy later for getting ender pearls. After literal hours of wandering around the Nether, tunneling, and getting killed by piglins, I finally found a nether fortress. It was a beautiful sight to see, but I almost immediately got in a fight with this ghast. A vaguely feminine entity attacking me while crying. That really brings me back to my childhood days. Despite that minor setback, I was still making good progress having found the nether fortress. But the walk to it was so long and dangerous, I would still die on the way back sometimes. This section was a brutal grind, but I was eventually able to make it back to the fortress and set up this blaze farming area. I completely ran out of food at this point, so rather than die and leave my stuff on the ground, I put it in this chest so that I could at least have those blaze rods, given that I made it back to that spot. Without food and therefore no health regen, it was really only a matter of time before the blazes killed me. After about 90 minutes of grinding, dying, running back, and grinding some more, I eventually got enough blaze rods to make the walk back to my base, and I starved to death on the way back. Or so I thought. Apparently, Big Boy can't completely starve to death. He can only empty out his entire hunger bar and be unable to jump or run, or regen health. So naturally, after nearly starving to death, I died shortly after that. But I was able to get my stuff back, and I did have a few close calls on the final run back to the base, but I was able to make it. So having safely secured the blaze rods in my base, I only now needed ender pearls before I made the trek to a stronghold. And the most reliable way that I've found to get ender pearls is to go to this teal forest biome, set up a little enderman farm area, and then just wait. And I kind of set up the farming area wrong at first. You can see the Endermen getting stuck down there. But one of them is like an epic gamer. Watch this play that he makes. He bamboozled me. But anyway, I was able to set up a much better safe spot to attack the Enderman from shortly after. But yeah, the basic strategy was to walk around, look at the Enderman, which obviously enrages them. A lesser being is not to be looking at them. And then retreat to my too high little fort here and whack at their knees until they were dead. It ended up being a lot of waiting around, and I ran out of food a couple times, but ultimately it was a pretty safe and effective strategy. It wasn't perfect, and I did have a couple of deaths, but I was eventually able to get 14 ender pearls, and I figured that was probably enough to make it to the fortress. I did make the classic thick boy blunder of running out of food on the way back, but I was luckily able to make a chest, put the ender pearls in there, and grab them again on my return. Now that I have both the blaze rods and the ender pearls, it was time to look for the stronghold. Ouch, the literal first eye of ender that I threw broke. But I was undeterred. I made my way towards where the eye of ender said to go anyway. And of course, there were a few minor setbacks along the way. Parkour! My next eye of ender directed me over this ocean, and then I had myself a fun little boating trip. Look at his fat rolls cascading out of the side of that boat. Very majestic. The eyes of ender were changing direction, so I was getting very close, and I was able to triangulate the approximate location of the portal pretty quickly. After getting a terrible spawn and an absolutely abysmal nether, it was finally good to see some good luck in quickly finding the stronghold, only a couple hundred blocks away from my base. And now it was time to get digging and try to find that portal. And not a lot interesting happened in this section, it was just really a lot of digging. There was one point where I ran out of food completely and I had to restore my hunger bar by repeatedly smashing my cankles into the rock. You can't be hungry if you're dead, big boy. I ended up having to do this multiple times, so I set up a little home away from home so I wouldn't lose any stuff. I was very lucky to get a shallow stronghold spawn, so I've been making up for that very bad spawn and nether luck. And luck continued to go my way as I shortly after found food, and then the second room I looked in the stronghold was the portal room. This was insanely good luck. Now unfortunately, the doorways in the stronghold are very fat-a-tat-ophobic. But fortunately, it didn't take me long to make them a little more body positive. Now that I had found the end portal, it was time to go back to my base, do the final preparations, and get some reinforcements. I went back to the Discord admin to get more Nitro subscriptions to get more kittens to have them fight the Ender Dragon for me. Okay girls, now you're all gonna have to share me, but luckily, as you can see, there's enough of me to go around. Go, my kitten army, feast upon his flesh, bring his head back for my collection. So with these new kittens, I added in the old kittens that I had recruited from earlier, and we had a whole Discord army coming for the Ender Dragon. Who would win, the Ender Dragon or the entire Discord server? We were about to find out. Oh no, no, kitties, don't! We suffered a few casualties along the way, but it was no big deal. We still had like a dozen or so come time to actually fight. Man, these kittens are really stupid. I guess there's a reason I'm the mod and they're not. Anyway, I had to physically push them into the portal to get them into the end. Get in there, kitty. Time to die for daddy. I jumped into the end with the shambles of what was left of my army and was ready to take on the dragon. Remember, kitties, always sacrifice your life to save me. You'll get into kitty heaven if you do that. So, as is of course tradition in Minecraft, I started the process of deleting his healing pillars. All the while, the kittens were acting as my bodyguards against accidentally aggroed endermen. They actually did something. Woohoo! At this point I had gotten pretty good at playing around the restrictions of being a Discord mod, but that doesn't mean this fight didn't have its hardships. The kittens would always teleport back to me when I re-entered the end after dying and would block me from going up the stairs, so that was pretty annoying. No armor and increased fall damage was definitely a recipe for a lot of deaths in this fight. But as long as I managed my resources well, I had gotten rid of the pillars. It was only a matter of time before I killed him. The main thing I really needed to avoid was falling off the cliff. That would totally torpedo my effort here. Oh, there goes the last kitten. I actually didn't know the Ender Dragon could spin around like this while attached to the pillar and kick you up in the air. Neat. He actually did it to me twice, in fact. Oh, and between the last death and this one, I went back to get more kittens, hoping that they would help me, but they ended up being pretty useless. They did teleport over when I died, hopefully to eat my corpse. And finally, after a dozen or so very repetitive deaths, I was able to kill the Ender Dragon, answering the question once and for all. A Discord mod can beat Minecraft. And there were even 2 tiny Discord kittens that survived the whole fight, and I would be able to celebrate with them now. And before you go accusing me of heinous acts, the kittens are actually over 900 years old. They just look like they're 7, so it's actually legal, okay? Chuds annihilated. And that concludes our presentation today, folks. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a like on it. I had a ton of fun making it, and I'm going to be making more similar challenge videos like this in the near future. So please subscribe if you want more unhinged Minecraft nonsense like this. I also want to thank you all for watching the last video and giving it so much love. It provided me the funds to buy a higher quality microphone, so now my audio should be higher quality. Let me know what you think in the comments. Oh, and what kind of run should I do next? I love all the comments with people having ideas for what I should do next, so if you care enough to share your ideas, I would love to hear them below. Anyway, thanks again, and see you in 3 weeks.